time to get sorted and set up, guys. I'm getting the chat pulled up. Getting the chat pulled up first. And then we will move on to the lifting part of the stream, which is the fun part, which is the majority of the stream, right? So, right. Stream pulled up, live chat. And then let's get our sentence straight right fast. Happy Thursday, Saray. Happy Thursday. All right. Sorry, I'm just getting everything sorted up. Dinner today, we did a chicken mac and cheese. Tomorrow we're doing chicken and rice, like a chicken and rice. Put some chicken broth in the brown rice, and then we cook the chicken thighs directly in the rice. It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be delicious. Cajun style spicing, you know. All right, let's mount up. It's time. It's that time, guys. I've got questionable levels of caffeine flowing through my bloodstream at the moment. Questionable levels of caffeine flowing through my bloodstream. So it is that time of day, guys. We had to improvise on our milk tonight. I just had to bring milk from home. I usually stop and get milk, but I had something happen and I had to not stop at the store. And I live in an area where there's not a lot of stores open late. So all the stores are closed. So we have 16 ounces of whole milk in this water bottle. No, when I have my laptop, I wasn't able to go to the store today, Marty, to get the Fairlife. I had my kids are my eldest child and my middle child are both starting school soon for the school year, so I had a lot of school stuff to handle for them. So they got busy. A questionable level of caffeine in milligrams. So are we talking about for the day? So for the day, I'm currently running somewhere in like the 700 to 800 milligrams, maybe 900. Right now, I'm on about 400. So milligrams of caffeine. So just a couple scoops of pre-workout. $400 to meet your maintenance. Everybody's got a maintenance number, right? Everybody's got a maintenance number. That's no good, Win. That's no good. Natty lifting. Natty lifting. That's how we do. Ooh. All right. Is there actually a shortage, David? I was unaware of that. I was unaware that there was a test shortage. That's interesting. That could have some serious repercussions for the fitness industry. You're going to see all these fitness influencers, the smaller ones that aren't spending $1,200 a month, $12 grand a month, some of them, 4 grand, 8 grand a month, or willing to spend 10 grand a month or whatever it is. Who was it? Liver King that was spending 12 grand a month? We're gonna talk tonight, Rich. I'm gonna talk to you tonight, Rich. I'll talk to you tonight. Don't worry. I'm gonna message you after the stream. I promise I'm working on it, Rich. Diligence, all right. Physique inflation on the decline. We're gonna see a lot of these smaller influencer channels that are all on test start to shrink. Watch. Gotcha, Rich. I have both of your accounts on there, yeah. All right, we're gonna add some more weight. We'll add 20 pounds, then we'll go 315. We'll keep climbing from there. We don't have a spotter tonight. I didn't plan on doing a PR tonight anyways. So just some light stuff. We'll probably go to like mid threes. Oh yeah, we're always going to get the lift in, Bryn. I don't miss a workout for sure. My last weigh-in, I was 179 with my clothes on and a full stomach. So, you know, probably about 176, 177 without. Bench press is always going to be top tier. Best exercise. We have all the gains. All right. There's guys, I'm gonna tell you the truth. All right. There's not, but you know, being a hard gainer means you're not eating enough, right? You can be small and need to get bigger naturally. You cannot feel as hungry as some people with that have been eating more, you know, throughout their lifetime, have a more of a stretched stomach, a heartier appetite already. But if you're a hard gainer, that's because you don't eat enough. That's what I thought for like the first 24, 25 years of my life. I never broke 120 pounds tops. 117 was my weight when I started lifting 5 years ago. I thought I was like a high metabolism, hard gainer, can't gain weight. Turns out I just wasn't eating enough. And I thought I was. I thought I was eating a lot. Yes, it is generally your fault if you're not gaining weight when you're trying to. Generally. There is some exceptions to that, but not many. But that goes both directions now, guys. So you're like, Chris, that's kind of harsh, right? I've been there, guys. And that goes both ways. It goes both ways. If you're having trouble losing weight, it's because you're eating too much. It's just that's the math of it. There's very few exceptions to that. Very few exceptions to that. If you eat less then your body needs to sustain itself, you will lose body fat. If you eat more than your body needs to sustain itself, then you will gain body fat or muscle, depending on how much you eat, you know, what type of food. So when I wish I could tell you that's the truth, because I grew up thinking that I was always going to be small because it was just I was a hard gainer. Turns out I just didn't know how to eat. Yeah, it's. I'm not. I wish I could go back and tell myself, you know, at age 18, 19, 20, what I was doing wrong, right? Because it seems so obvious now that I've done the right stuff for long enough. But at the time, I would have told you 1,000 times over that I was eating, you know, way more than I needed to, and I just couldn't gain weight. But I'll tell you right now, I was wrong then. So. But, all right, let's grab this bar. What's up, Mark? You're born with 18-inch arms? Me too, but it's wrists, 18-inch wrists. I'm on 2 scoops of pre right now, about 400 milligram of caffeine current. That's unfortunate, Marty. What's up, Coco? They make artificial ones now, Marty. You can just get one put in. All right. Let's grab it. Yep. A little warm-up lift. Some toddler weight. Some toddler weight. Remember, everything you say is on the internet forever. Don't forget these things, guys. All right. Let's add some more weight. Let's add some more weight. More weight. What's up, Gentoo? All the way from Finland. That's pretty cool. Welcome, welcome. That sounds like a very unfortunate condition, Mark. That sounds like a very unfortunate condition, Mark. Vikings in the chat. You know, you gotta adapt and overcome, right, Mark? Adapt and overcome. Nice. Bench is always a good time, Jantu. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. I feel like I'm definitely over conversating with Mark. I'm giving him more than necessary currently. I feel like I'm giving him just a little bit more than is necessary. Solid work, Rich. Solid work. All right. Uh, 325. Another single. Another single. All right, 325, moving solid. Let's go 335 for the next one. Let's go ahead and add some weight, guys. Don't forget to like the stream. It helps out a lot, guys. All right. Appreciate it, Jan too. That's exactly what we're trying to do, right, Marty? Trying to retire at 40. That's the. I got 10 years. 10 years. All right. I'm a good old 30 years old, right? So, all right. Like every like is another soul collected for the ginger lifter. You know what I'm saying? Every like is another soul collected for the ginger lifter. All right. Every time we get a like, we grow another red beard hair. So. All right. Let's grab this. This is 335. This is 335. We're just doing singles right now. You're not going to sweat much with like heavy weight training. It's going to be. Why is my camera so wonky? You guys didn't even tell me that it's like crooked, guys. It's like crooked. Mark, what's going on? You're supposed to be keeping an eye on this kind of stuff, man. Let's go there so you guys can see the extra plates and whatnot. All right. Between 3 and 5. 5, I think, is our cap on 315 at the moment, Racer. That I don't know. We've done 5, I think, once, maybe. I know we've done 4. We did 4 last week. So around 5. Fresh, we could probably get 7 if we're fresh. We haven't tried 315 for reps fresh yet. We've been talking about trying that, but. We don't do 8 of anything, Rich. We know this. We don't do 8 of anything. All right, we're going to take 30 more seconds because we're only 17 minutes in, and I'm already at 3:35. So we're going to take, 3:35. We're going to take another 30 seconds. Then we'll hit 3:35. Then I don't know what we're doing after that yet. Always, strength training is the play. I'm a power lifter. I do competitive powerlifting. It's going to happen, Coco. It's going to be a great day, too. 365, Racer. We're taking a short rest. We're on set like number 7 or 8, including our singles. So we're taking a short rest. We're just about to hit it. Should be about another 10 seconds. What's up, Jackie? So when I'm not close to competition time, which we are currently, we do a PR every week. A PR attempt every week. Right now, we're only a couple weeks out for competition. I have competition on the 16th. So I weigh 177 currently. The weight on the bar right now, still considered warm-up weight, is 335. I train 6 days a week. All right. Let's go ahead and hit this real quick, guys. We got just a little bit of warm-up weight on the bar. So just some toddler weight. All right. Oh yeah, we're 100% taking first at the competition. Like that's a given, all right? So 100%. Mark could come to the competition. Mark, you should compete. I'll personally put in a request to get you on the roster. The week of the meet, we probably won't go more than like low 3s, Bryn. We'll go a little lighter that week. So we just hit a single here. We're gonna go up. We're doing heavy singles right now. Or we're gonna be doing heavy singles. It's not heavy yet. Yeah, I train a full body heavy 6 days a week, Gen 2. Full body heavy 6 days a week. This is my 4th bench session this week. I've already benched, this is my 4th heavy bench session this week. Let's go, you know what? Let's go up one more. I was going to do a drop set, but let's go up one more. Let's go up one more, guys. 340, guys. 340. So right now I'm in a maintenance period because we're about to go into competition and I'm right about where I need to be. But usually, so right now I'm at like 3,500 calories, 4,000 calories a day. I have a very high calorie expenditure, so I need a lot of calories, and I get about 300 grams of protein. Now, when I'm bulking, 300 grams of protein is usually still the number I'm going for, but I sometimes go a little over. But I go 5,000 calories. So we do drop sets and we do sets climbing up. So we'll do like warm-up sets for 7, and we'll do drop sets for like 3 to 7. But everything in between goes for maximal effort singles and doubles. So we'll do like 130. Like yesterday the full session was 135 for 7, 225 for 7. It was 225 for 7, 245 I think for double, and then we did 315 single, 325 single, 335 single, and then I think we went up to 350 for a single, and then we dropped back down I think to 250 for, it was 250 for 7 on the drop set. You can drink your calories, Mark. I can drink 1,000 calories if I want. All right. I have no idea what my openings are going to be, I'll be honest. It's fairlife though, Mark. It's fairlife though. Yes, this is very live. This is very live, Darius. This is very live. The livest it gets, all right? The livest it gets. My openers, so the plan, almost every time I've competed, my goal for the openers is to open light and then make big jumps, right? So I usually open like 100 pounds lighter than like normally you would. So my opener last time, I think I did 225 for all the lifts, right? So I did it across the board just to get a number up. And then I jumped my bench from there, from 225 straight to 315. And then I did another jump to like 340 last competition. Did the same thing with my deadlift, but I think I might have went 315 on the deadlift last time. This time I'm probably gonna open bench around 300. And then we'll make a big jump to like 325 or 330, and then we'll make a big jump to like 345, 350. Deadlift I'm opening probably at 405. That seems like a realistic opener. Opening at 405 this time around. Squat we're gonna open with like 11 pounds and a couple of feathers in my pocket. But we'll see how we climb that. You know what I'm saying? Is top tier Nick Coco? No injuries, no injuries. I appreciate it, Jan, too. Appreciate you stopping in. Enjoy your bench. Enjoy your bench. I think you said you were benching tonight, so. So I think Fairlife was purchased after that, and it wasn't Fairlife that has the company Fairlife that was treating the cows poorly. It was the farms that Fairlife was using, I believe, that were doing that. It was one of the farms. And I don't know if they continued to work with them. So I did see that article as well, but after researching it, it wasn't Fairlife's farm. It was just someone they were purchasing milk from, if I'm not mistaken. It depends, Bryn. I have no idea what my lifts are going to be. When I walk in on meet day, that's when I'll decide. It depends on how I feel. I don't disagree that they should have been more on top of making sure the farms they're using are treating the animals correctly. But at the same time, when you're talking about companies owned by companies like Coca-Cola, because I think Coca-Cola owns Fairlife, if I'm not mistaken, the oversight gets, I would imagine at that level, gets so like watered down, right? Like there's probably very little oversight at that level. Like it's so large that the small stuff gets like missed, what they would consider small stuff. But to us, obviously, that's a big deal. But to a corporation, not so much usually, right? So I want to give the benefit of the doubt, not because I just like Fairlife, but because I try and give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And I do believe they corrected it pretty quickly. PR third attempt. PRing in competition is crazy work, Bryn. All right, you have to pause it. Yeah, they're wrestling shoes, but they're great for powerlifting. I did not forget about you, Thunderlord. How's it going? How's it going? Welcome back. What's up, Donna? How's it going? All right, let me grab this bench bar, guys. Let's have a good time. You guys ready? All right, this is our last up. We haven't done any PR work for a while, Thunder, so it's still 365. We're waiting till after the 16th of August to do any more PR attempts. But let me grab this bar. We'll talk about it after I hit this lift. All right, we got 340 on here. Nothing heavy, nothing heavy. Just some lightweight work. Yeah, Mark, shouldn't you be studying for a test or something? Aren't you doing like underwater basket weaving or something? Like a master's in underwater basket weaving or something? Woo-wee! Felt good. 340 moving smooth. Smooth. ChatGPT, right? It'll get you through everything. Cap. It's a cap bar. It's just a cap 45-pound Olympic. It's just a standard 45 cap. That's all it is. We have two bars. We've worked with the other bar in here, which is missing. Where is it? Why is it not? Oh, there it is. And that one's an Echo bar, which is really nice if you guys have never worked with Echo bars. Actually, a really nice bar. Darius, I would recommend going to. I have a Coach Chris playlist on my channel where I've done like 2 or 3 benching like tutorial or tip videos. One that'll help you increase your bench. One that'll help you get your bench form down 100%, like perfect, as close to perfect as you can get it, right? And then I think I have another one that talks about the importance of your lats on the bench. Watch those videos. It'll give you a lot of insights on how to increase your bench. It's on my Coach Chris playlist. They're shorts. They're very short videos. They don't take long to watch. Yes, this is YouTube. We're about to do a drop. We're gonna go. What drop set did we do tonight, guys? We went up to 340. That was our heaviest press of the night. We're probably gonna go a little heavier tomorrow because I plan on going to the other gym where we'll have a spotter. 315 for 5 with no spotter. That's the play, right, Mark? That's the play. Let's see. Sound like Bryn trying to get me to do PRs in competition now, Mark. All right. I'll say, so it wasn't but like a month ago, Bryn was telling me not to do silly stuff, right? And now all of a sudden Bryn's telling me to try and, bench press 800 pounds in competition. So, it's like, it's night and day. It's night and day. $315 for 5. I think that's the most that's close to the most. That might be the most we've ever done for $315. It's time to shine. But you have to pause, Bryn. That's what's going to get me. You have to pause. Pausing takes like 20 pounds. On average, if you guys have ever been to competition, pausing a bench press in competition takes about 20 pounds off whatever your gym lift is, right? So if you're benching 350 in the gym, you should realistically, with a pause in competition, be benching around 330. It's about a 20-pound differential. Does not make it easier. Does not make it easier. All right, so yeah, just pause and then push. That's all it is. You're just gonna push harder. That is very much not something I can answer for you, Racer. It depends on a lot of factors. There's not really one number that's just good for everybody that's that age, right? There's 13-year-olds picking up, 300 plus, and then there's 13-year-olds that are, doing 150 or 90 or 80. And it depends on body weight, how many years you've been training, things along those lines. Leverages, I would say as long as you're picking up more today than you did last week, you're doing well. It's all you versus you. Don't try and compare yourself to every other person in your age group, right? Because you're always going to find someone a bit stronger generally. There's very few people in the world that are ever going to say, there's no one to compare myself to, right? So you're just that far ahead of the pack, right? But so unless you're like Julius Maddox on the bench, it's best just to compare yourself to yourself. And really, he has to do the same thing. There's no one that even comes close. So it's not even like he can try and stay ahead of other people because there's no one that's even close to his numbers. For the first year, 100%. So those newbie gains the first year, especially when you're young, David is correct, right? So when you're young, form makes a big difference. As you get older, your leverages will change and you'll be able to make adjustments. But right now, I would say your number one goal should be perfecting the movement and making it as robotic as possible, right? Make it so you cannot mess up the movement. That way, when you get more seasoned in lifting, you won't have to think about the setup and you can just think about moving the weight. So right now is your time to perfect all of your movements and your movement patterns, your bar pathing, get those down 100%. And then after you have that, like you can still lift heavy, just work on making sure all of those intricacies are perfect, right? Or as perfect as you can get them. And then make it your secondary focus right now, because of you being younger, should be the weight. So all right, let's grab this bar, guys. All right, we got 315 on here. We're gonna do like a double, maybe a triple. We don't have a spotter, so we probably stop her on a double. Mark, shouldn't you be on the bench right now? Should you be on the bench right now, Mark? I'm pretty sure that's the thing you should be doing, actually. You can't chat GPT your bench gains, Mark. You can't chat GPT your bench gains, Mark. Brandon, if you get a straight answer, all right? According to Mark, 405, right? His camera just keeps breaking. The press titan. I like that. We've got to come up with a nickname. I'm gonna do a short tonight, and I'm gonna let y'all vote on a nickname. We got to come up with a nickname for me. And I don't know how we're gonna do it. Not a poll. I'm just gonna let y'all comment, and whichever comment tonight on that short gets the most likes. That's a reasonable nickname. It has to be reasonable. We'll adopt it for a while. Not guaranteed permanently, but it'll be a temporary gig. Brent, as soon as he sends it, screenshot it and send it to me. I'll disclose his info for you. Yeah, we just did a triple with it, Chris. We just did a triple with it. This is warm up weight, Chris. This is warm up weight. We went to 340 tonight, and we dropped. This is our drop set for a triple. PR is 365 at the moment. Ugh. We're gonna do 7 reps total with this as our drop tonight. So yes, I'm natural, and yes, warm up weight. This is like toddler weight. We had some milk issues, Bryn. I didn't get to the store in time. Getting my kids set up for. We went to my youngest son's be the teacher today, and I didn't get to the store. So we don't do 10 of anything, Fox. We don't do 10 of anything. This is powerlifting, not CrossFit. All right. We're lifting for 5 years. It might be, Brent. I haven't decided yet. Somewhere around 300 is going to be the opener. All right. All right, let's grab it. We did a triple with it just now, Jen. We already did a triple with it tonight. We went up to 340 tonight. Right now, the PR for singles is 365. So I weigh 177 at the moment. All right. Powerlifting is great for strength. It's a great way to train strength, powerlifting. So. Oh, I can 100% pause this. Yeah, we can pause this, Bryn. 100%. Watch. Fun times. So Bryn, hear me out. There's the mental aspect, right? Not for me necessarily. For me also, you get the edge off, right? You get to like get the nerves moving in the right direction. But the other part, right? The other part, Bryn, is the mental aspect for the other lifters in your weight class. If I open at like, let's say my last press of the night is going to be 350, right? And I vaguely know it's going to be 350. When you open at like 225, right? And then everybody else does their openers and they're like, all right, you know, because my weight class, most people are like ending in the twos, right? Because I'm 177, mind you. Most people in my weight class are benching no higher than like 315 at the top end. That's like the best in my weight class typically is 315. I've only seen it once or twice, other than myself. And that's like 6 or 7 competitions, right? So when you bench 225 and everybody else is like, okay, I'm going to keep up on the bench, and then the second lift is 320, you know? So it's like, oh, 225, this guy's right where I'm at. I just got to beat him on the squat and deadlift, and then all of a sudden you slap in a 315 bench on the second one, and then everybody's mindset changes, and now they have to like adjust how they're doing it. There's a mental game here, all right? I weigh 177, Dakota. Yes, I compete, Chris. We'll work on the nickname thing later. We're not doing that this stream. We're doing that, well, I'll post a short for it later. So my last competition, I think I did, it was 225, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, 225. And then I jumped straight to 315, and then I went to 340. I'm not comparing myself to them, all right? I'm making them compare themselves to me and breaking them down mentally, all right? I'm not a firefighter, no. Red Hulk, I like it. We're gonna do a short for the nickname later, all right? All right, let's grab this. That was a single Larson pause. We did a triple right before that. We've got 3 more 315 to hit total. I don't know what we're gonna do yet, but we're gonna hit 315 for 3 more reps of some sort. All right. Let's go. I will, the feet have to be on the ground, Bryn. Feet have to be on the ground during competition. It would be hilarious, though. It would be hilarious. I have definitely thought about it a couple times, Bryn. Like, you know, what's the harm, right? In like Larson pressing my second lift, right? just to prove a point and getting the red lights to go and hit it on the third attempt. But I'm not going to. That's not sportsmanlike. It would be funny, but it's not sportsmanlike. Because the problem is as much as I like to open light and keep my competition guessing at my next lift, make big jumps. No, you can up the weight, you just can't down it. You can't go any further down, but you can go up. I've got an entire shelf dedicated to powerlifting medals and trophies, Marty. I've got a bunch of medals. It's almost always medals at competitions. So I've got plenty of space. I've got place for like 30 medals. The wife bought me a thing to hang all my medals on after my first competition. See, now I've got to fill it up, right? I can't leave it empty. It's got like 6 or 7 medals on it, probably 8 medals on it right now or something like that. I have a lot of so you guys, when we were doing the daily Fairlife bottle, like signatures and putting people's names on it, I kept all of those bottles. I have all of those bottles. We had to slow down. I couldn't do it anymore, Brent. I legitimately ran out of space to store Fairlife bottles. I have bags and bags and bags of Fairlife bottles at the house. They're everywhere. But I told you guys I wouldn't get rid of them, so I'm a man of my word, and they're in storage at my house. They're in storage. At some point, it got to the point where I was starting to store them, like, on top of my cabinets and in the front closet. What's up, Darren? I don't know everybody in the powerlifting community. There's a lot of people. Generally, the meets out here range anywhere from 60 to 80 lifters, and usually I'll know between 10 and 15 of the people there that are regulars at the meets. I'm gonna find them all in 30 years. Tag Fairlife. I have made an active attempt to get Fairlife's attention. They just will not message me back. Fairlife, honestly, I was kind of a stretch because Fairlife is a pretty large company. A lot of people don't realize that Fairlife is owned by Coca-Cola. They don't like usually have. They have a team that reaches out for that stuff. That being said, guys, I did have someone reach out the other day. We might have our first sponsored video coming out soon, depending on how that goes. I don't know how soon, but someone did reach out to potentially be a sponsor for a video. That'd be super cool. I'm excited for it. I just want to make sure it's something that I can justify advertising. I want to make sure it's something I actually am okay with putting on the stream. I'm not going to just take anything. I'm not going to sully the integrity of the stream or myself. Is it? Some of my competitors, yes, sorry. There's a couple people I compete with that are familiar with me, but all right. No, I'm excited. So some of the companies, so it's the company that reached out to me. I'm not sponsored yet, so we're not gonna talk about like what the logistics are, but it seems like it'd be something I'd be interested in doing. It's something I can stand behind to some extent, at least a little bit, depending on exactly what we want. But hopefully it all goes well, and you guys will see that video if it does. But I want it to be a brand that I can honestly say I would personally use. So I'm not going to, like, you're not going to catch me doing an advertisement for like orange soda. Like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to do an advertisement for Haribo. Nothing wrong. I don't know if Haribo is a bad or good company as a company, but I know that I don't eat their candy and I don't recommend candy to people. So I'm not going to do something like that. I'm waiting on the Raid Shadow Legends. If you guys are watching this Raid Shadow Legends, let me get a sponsorship. I feel like every YouTuber gets a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship at one point, right? It was great. You know what? That would be hilarious, Bryn. I don't have any problem with Coach Greg. Some of his content I do watch from time to time. But I don't know about that supplement in particular personally. I'm not familiar enough with it. I've looked into it a couple times, and some of the stuff he says makes sense to me, but at the same time, you always have to be cautious about supplements that aren't mainstream yet. And it's one of those ones that, like, when only one person can really carry it or only a few people can carry it, it's like, I compare it to do you guys remember when deer antler velvet was a thing? I do not, Darren, I do not. I'm waiting for my natty or not, all right? You guys are going to be pleasantly surprised when he says I'm natty, all right? I very much doubt he's going to go the other route with that. If Coach Greg decided he wanted to do a natty or not on me, which I think is in our future somewhere, right? That's a lot of effort, Coco. I'm not that complicated. Maybe one day. What you talking about, Coach Greg, David? I like his videos. I like the idea of the natty or not because he does have a lot of experience working with natural, non-natural lifters. So if I was going to say anybody's going to be able to tell, he is one of the people that would be able to tell. But I don't know exactly what he said about who, David. So I don't watch that often. Really, really. So, but I'm not super familiar with him. I mean, I don't watch all of his content. I just catch a video here and there. All right, let me grab this bar, guys. Let's grab this bar. What's up, Thomas? Duck eggs? Duck eggs? All right. So let's switch over our chat here real quick. Here we go. I don't know that I've ever had a duck egg. Let's do some preacher curls, guys. We haven't done preachers in a few days. So yeah, focus on bench press. That's the focus, right? If you focus on bench press, they'll come to you. All right, Rich? You gotta open with that every time. Be like, how you doing? My bench press is, and then whatever number. And then if you don't think it's high enough, you just add 20 pounds to it. Because really, who's checking, right? No, don't lie. Lying is bad. I don't personally watch TikTok. So I don't stream on TikTok because I don't watch TikTok. I do post some of my videos over there. After a while, I'll like compile all of my videos I've made and I'll move them over there. But I don't watch it personally, so it's very seldom that I grab that footage and move it over. All right, we got 130 on here. Let's grab this real quick. All right, let's add some more weight. Go 145. Lord. Yeah, focus on lifting. That's what you got to focus on, guys. Focus on lifting objects. Honestly, if you focus on yourself, and realistically, Rich, if you focus on yourself, everything else will fall into place pretty well. Just focus on personal growth, and the rest will handle itself. 100% will. All right. I show up at the gym every night, and I want to make sure everybody's aware that gravity is a myth. All right. Gravity is a myth. We're disproving gravity one lift at a time. Okay. One lift at a time. We're disproving gravity here on this stream. Focus on yourself. If you focus on self-improvement, Rich, at all times, if you're focusing on self-improvement, everything else will fall into place. Just focus on being the best version of yourself at all times. That is the best advice I could give somebody in general, regardless of what stage of life they're in. If you focus on being the best version of you, you'll do great in all other aspects generally. Doesn't mean everything will be easy, but you'll generally see results in every aspect of life as long as you're focusing on being the best version of yourself. I haven't seen Jay in a while, but Mossberg was here last night, Bryn. If you're getting tired, it probably dietary. It could be your sleep cycle, but you would know that. Could be dietary, maybe make some dietary adjustments. Also, if you're getting fatigued and you haven't worked out in a while, it could just be that you're in that cycle of fatigue. So you kind of got to force yourself to get to the gym once or twice. Try and break that fatigue cycle. Try using some complex carbs, so maybe some honey. And then make sure you lean up your diet a lot. Bring your diet pretty lean. Remove some of the excess fats maybe, or some of the simple carbs. That'll probably help. Usually, long-term fatigue, it comes from dietary issues. Gravity's a myth. Gravity's a myth. This is provable. All right. I've proven that on this channel multiple times. All right. There's a reason it's the theory of gravity. All right. It's a theory. I'm just proving it currently. All right. All right. We got 145. Could be dehydrated. Over the course of a month, I feel like you would have noticed if you were dehydrated, though. Yeah. Exactly. Does anybody know what Isaac Newton's bench press was? Because we know that's what really matters, especially here. Because if he wasn't benching more than me, then can we really trust his theory of gravity, right? Have you ever seen an apple fall from a tree? I haven't. Do we even know that apple trees exist? Have you ever seen one? That's why they make you take iron supplements as you get older, is to replenish the metal in your body. It's how they keep you under control. They have a big magnet under the floor. Disproving gravity one lift at a time, guys. One lift at a time. God bless. Absolutely not, Ben. Absolutely not. That's not the play, Ben. That's not the play. I have not. It's been a long time since I've had apple anything. I don't eat apples very often.
It's not my choice of fruit. It's not bad. I like apples. I don't eat apples very often. Very rare. If I was gonna go and do any kind of like go to any kind of like fruit farm, it would probably be like a strawberry, one of the strawberry orchards that you go pick strawberries or blueberries or something. Is that your new rep PR? 50 reps at 315, Ben? That's full brick. God, that second one, I thought it was there, but as soon as it got back down. We'll get one more single here, guys. One more single full brick. It's everything that's on here. 210 is what it says. I have 3 tattoos. Whoa. There was speaking of bodybuilders, not Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman's, I heard, doing well. He had that issue, but he seems to be doing well now, which is awesome. God bless. There was a bodybuilder recently. I have to go and look. I talked about it last night, and I still haven't had the opportunity to sit down and do anything that wasn't work related or stream related or like my children's school related. So, but there was a bodybuilder that like just had a heart attack recently, and it's just constant right now, guys. That bodybuilders are getting hurt and dropping. They're just dropping, man, and it's scary stuff. It's all that. It's all the extra tests and all the extra gear they're going on nowadays, constantly. Not Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan did. I believe it was a heart attack, but I don't know if it was gear related for him. I'll be honest. Could have been. I don't know if he was like actively on gear. I don't know. I give everybody benefit of the doubt, but I don't know if Hulk Hogan's ever said whether or not he was. Now, there's obviously a lot of people that assume it, but I don't know if he ever made mention, like solidified what he was taking and how much, if he was taking, right? I give everybody benefit of the doubt. Yeah, and Hulk didn't. I mean, Hulk Hogan didn't kick out early. Like, it was earlier than you'd expect, but he wasn't like in his 20s or his 30s like a lot of these bodybuilders are getting hurt and sick now, right? So, but obviously he had the best of the best doctors giving him the best treatment. I would imagine, so that helps as well. All real weights. We don't do fake weights. But that being said, I didn't know that much about Hulk Hogan. I didn't grow up around like that kind of stuff, right? So I know of him and I know what he did now as an adult, getting into the fitness and sports world. I've learned more about him in my adulthood, but he wasn't, for a lot of people, he was like their childhood hero, which is awesome. I just don't know that much about him. I didn't grow up watching him or anything like that. I guess it's one of those things like, I recognize the things that he did for a lot of people in their childhood, though, as far as like inspirational wise. But I don't know that much about him. All right, let me grab this. We gotta do triceps, guys. We gotta do triceps. I would say it would be very difficult, Darren, but it's not impossible. Not impossible. So mind you guys,
if you are physically in shape for the majority of your life, right, into your old age, as long as you don't completely let yourself go, right, just like with the worst habits possible, you should be able to maintain a lot of what you've earned throughout the years and what you've developed throughout the years. Now, with that being said, is it all going to stay there if you don't maintain it? You know, no. But he had a whole career. His entire life was based around being fit, right? Like that was part of his brand. But I will say that it is difficult. It is difficult. Most people after like 50 are definitely utilizing things to maintain and continue growing if they are still attempting to do that at that point. After 50 or 60, a lot of people are starting to look into things like, you know, performance enhancers, whether it be through their doctor, which is the way to go if you feel like you need something like that. You should always go to your doctor. I don't recommend it, but you know, I'm not your doctor. So that being said, I'm pretty sure I can buy a stethoscope. I take creatine. I take creatine daily, 15 gram. All right, we got 3 sets with this weight. Then we got to do rows. We did cables. Did we do cables yesterday? We did dumbbells yesterday. We got cables today. V-bar, yeah, 15 gram of creatine daily. 10 gram is pure, 10 to 13 grams of pure creatine monohydrate, and then I get about 5 grams, give or take, from my pre-workout. So it comes to about a total of 15 to 20, depending on the day and how much pre-workout and you know how rounded my scoops are, my creatine obviously, but sometimes I take an extra half a little scoop. I don't think it's ever happened. I won't say it's impossible, Marty, but it would be extremely difficult to do if it is. 15 gram is the right amount. It's the right amount. For me, I don't know about for you, all right? We're different here. We're built different here. So. That's probably correct for, you know, your body weight or your muscle mass. So it's all muscle mass driven. So based on how much muscle you're carrying, you may or may not be able to have more creatine absorbed. Obviously, your muscles use creatine to hydrate themselves, to grow, to recover. If you have more muscle, you can have more creatine absorbed into your muscle fibers. You know, a lot of it we get from our meat, but you do supplement it. Because I'll tell you right now, people like professional strongmen, they're not taking 5 grams of creatine. They're pouring like probably half the jar, right? So I don't know how much they're taking, honestly, but they're probably taking in excess of what I take for sure. 5 is like the general, 5 is the consensus though. Every jar you read is going to say take 5, right? It's going to say take 5. There's a reason it says that, obviously. For the average person or even people that are training, the average lifter, not average person, but the average lifter, 5 is very acceptable and it's going to be all you need. But, all right. One more set here, and then we will go do our rows, which we got cables tonight. And then we have shoulders. So. 6 to 7. I mean, if that's what you're taking, Rich, if you feel like you're getting good results out of it, guys, take what you feel like you're getting good results out of. Don't feel like you have to take what I'm taking, right? So, yeah, I'm taking 15 gram of creatine, but that doesn't mean you need to take 15 gram of creatine, you know? That is my personal choice. I feel like I get the best results out of that level of creatine. I doubt it, Rich. There's not a lot of people that need 35 grams, but it's, I mean, I'm not your doctor. I'm not your coach. So I couldn't tell you if there's a reason why you should increase it. I don't think I've ever had any of my clients take that much creatine daily. And I've worked with some pretty large clientele as far as muscle mass is concerned. So I wouldn't say that I've ever had someone that I could justify that amount. I wouldn't say I've ever had someone I could justify that amount of creatine. Maybe Eddie Hall. Maybe Eddie Hall, right? Mind you, I weigh 177. I have a considerable amount of muscle mass for my body weight, though. I have a low body fat percentage, so there's a reason I take more. And then but even if you doubled how much I need to take, if say you were to double my body mass, you're reaching up into the 330 range, you know? So if you're not 330, and even if you're 330, you're probably not needing that much, right? Average person at 330 lifting isn't going to be super low body fat percentage unless they're like pro level bodybuilding. We went up to 340 tonight, twins. We went up to 340 tonight, and then we did 315 for a triple. We did 315 for a double with a Larson pause press, and then another double and a single, I think, something along those lines for our drop set. We went to 340 at the top end tonight. All right, let's toss this on. Let's get some rows in, guys. Let's get some rows in. All right. Full stack. See, Rich, should you rock back and forth? There's definitely, so a lean forward and a lean back during rowing movements, whether it's overhead or a seated row, like to chest like this, like your standard compound row or your standard rows, cable rows. You leaning forward and migrating back with the weight is not necessarily going to be a bad thing. I do it from time to time. You can do straight up and down with no movement. Either way, you're gonna see gains and results in strength and physique. They're two slightly different. You know, one's gonna be a little bit more core stability involved. You're gonna have to focus in a little bit more on keeping the core tight. But I will say that if you rock it a little bit, you'll be able to move a little bit more weight, obviously, which we're all about moving extra weight here. So. But if you're doing rows, as long as your arms are going forward and backwards and your form isn't complete trash, you're going to see gains, you know? So, yeah. Full stack, always a full stack. Always a full stack. Set of 7, short rest, set of 7, short rest, set of 7. Then we got shoulders after this, and then we'll hit our squats. You know, we might hit leg extensions today. I haven't decided yet. Might do leg extensions. All right. About 20 more seconds and we'll hit this. 20 more seconds, guys. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Don't forget to like the stream. At the end of the stream, you know, if we hit 50 likes, I'll do 50 push-ups, you know, for the giggles. Why not? We'll make that the goal. If we hit 50 likes by the end of the stream, I'll do 50 push-ups with claps. Not every one of them. We'll throw some claps in there. Make that our like goal for the night. All right.
It is 1 a.m. here, just about. Yeah, it is 1 a.m. here. All right, let's grab it. So what's up? I appreciate you subscribing. Squeeze was just fine, I promise. Please don't spam. Please don't spam. All right. It's good to have tinted windows here in the South. I have tinted front windows. Yeah, I'm doing fine, Mr. Wright. I'm not looking for your advice, I promise. I appreciate it though. I appreciate it. I don't need the advice. I'm good. I'm good. Much appreciated the thought. It's the thought that counts. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Is it nitrochi? Nitrochi. All right. Let's grab another set here. 5x5s. Okay, so I've talked about 5x5s in the past. 5x5s work. There's no doubt they work. 5x5s are a great method of increasing strength, mass. I mean, it is an effective method as long as you're eating and recovering properly, because they can be taxing. 5x5s are great. I don't personally do a 5x5 at the moment, but I've done similar programs in the past, and I've definitely assigned 5x5s to my strength clients in the past. All right.
I don't know if I've ever tried the super squat program. Anything called super squat is probably going to be a probably something I skipped them. Honestly, we got shoulder press. Sounds tough, man. 5'11". I would be down. I'd probably try it. I'd probably try something called scoot. Honestly, I've never tried a super squat program. I do my own programming. I don't usually use other people's programs, so. I don't do, all of my training is strength focused. I don't do anything over 7 reps typically. I do a lot of heavy singles, doubles, triples, and I do a full body heavy 6 days a week. So my program is very similar to what's called the Bulgarian method. It is a tough method, but it produces top tier athletes. But the thing is either you do really well or you get hurt. Like there's no in between on a method like that. It's very, very much make or break. So I've enjoyed it. I've been doing a similar method for at least 3 years. I've been doing it consistently like that. 5 years I've been training total, but 3 years of very, very, very similar to the Bulgarian method. So somewhere in that ballpark. All right. Shoulder press. Let's go. Let's go. I'm 30 years old. I don't know if that would have been before my time, but I'm 30 years old. So if it was, there's a possibility. Possibility. Shoulders. Oh, that sounds awful, twins. No, I don't think I've ever followed him. I don't know that I have. All right, we got shoulder press, guys. Shoulder press. We're gonna get started, get our shoulders. Obviously, we've done a lot of warming up already, but we're gonna finish we're gonna do a shoulder warm up with the 135, and then we'll increase it. We're gonna hit this for 7. We're gonna hit this for 7. Yep. That's a little warm up. Felt pretty good. That's more weight to it. We're gonna do 3 sets climbing today. 3 sets of 7. 3 sets of 7 to maybe. I don't know. We might do 2 sets of 7 and then a single. I haven't decided yet. Let's go. Yeah. How's it being 30? Feels like 29, 28, 27. I don't feel my, a lot of people are like, do you feel your age? I don't feel any different than I did 3 or 4 years ago. I feel a lot different than I did 5 years ago. I mean, I guess I feel different. I feel better. I feel physically better. I feel physically better every year than I did the year prior. I haven't noticed any decline in any of my physical conditioning. So, obviously, I came from a very unhealthy place to a healthy place, so that's going to be typical. It's going to be typical for me to feel better year after year. And my diet's very clean, so I don't experience very much physical degradation from like poor dietary choices. I don't drink, I don't smoke, so it's all about how you live, guys. It's all about how you live. I feel better now than I did when I was 20 years old, right? Physically. So it all depended on how you live your life and how you operate, right? I drink a lot of milk, a lot. I drink a lot of dairy, a lot of milk. I drink about at least a gallon a day. At least a gallon a day. So. Yep. I got about 4 years on you. 4 years on you, Nick. 4 years. We'll go for a triple here. A triple. And then we'll hit some kind of legs. Probably squat, I don't know. And then we got push-ups. We're gonna do some push-ups tonight as our calisthenic choice. So, push-ups tonight as our calisthenic of choice because we can. They are wrestling shoes, but I use them for powerlifting. And I'm 5'11", and I weigh 177. My current bench press, because it's the only thing that really matters, is 365. So natural. That's the next question I get usually on stream. Bryce, I don't train muscle ups very often. I think the last time I tried one, we didn't get quite a full muscle up. There's something you have to train very specifically, and I don't train calisthenics like that. It's a lot of technique and form, and I don't train them. I can do a ton of pull-ups. I can do weighted pull-ups. I can do archers. I can do clap pull-ups. But muscle-ups, while I have the physical capability of doing it, I haven't practiced the form and technique, I'm gonna be honest. So I've done them before. I have done muscle-ups. I'm not super practiced with them. So I'm not super practiced with them. All right, little triple. This is 135, 55, 65. We'll do 170 for 3. The roof, we are aware, David, the roof is too low in this building. Now, the other gym we can. I think it was the other gym we were doing them at. I think we tried them at OG at 1.2. But this roof is too low. This roof is too low. You see how close that is to the bar? It's not as close as it looks, but it's still very close. We do a lot of squats, yeah. Dale, you're not a very good troll, I'm gonna be honest. You need to up your game, man. If you're gonna come and troll my stream, you at least have to be good at it, all right? We get a lot of trolls here, all right? So you got to be better practiced. Maybe you want to go to a different stream, practice a little bit, get some reps in. All right, come back, JL, because right now it's a sad showing. It's a sad showing. This will be 170 overhead for 3. I don't eat hot Cheetos, no. That's not part of my diet. Before I cared about my diet, sure, I ate hot Cheetos before I started caring about my health, like 5 years ago, but I don't eat hot Cheetos right now. I haven't broken diet in 5 years. So I haven't had a cheat meal in 5 years. All right. I won't have a cheat meal. Won't do it. All right. Not even a snack. Not even a snack. I won't even have a sample at the supermarket that's not on diet. All right. Let's go. Yeah. No, I don't take blood pressure meds. I go 190. Yeah, no blood pressure meds for me. No. My blood pressure is good. So. All right, 190 on the bar. We're gonna hit this for a quick single. So, JL, it's still not working, man. Up your game. Up your game. Maybe go ask ChatGPT for some hints and some tips and tricks, maybe. ChatGPT could probably help you with the trolling thing. You know, give it some prompts. You know, tell it what type of stream you're trying to troll. What would be the best thing to say to the streamer? It might help you out. You need to work on it. That's solid work. You probably got a little more than 304 then, Bryce. Yeah, lifting is anytime. Lifting is anytime you want it. All right. Weights don't have a bedtime. All right. Weights don't have a bedtime. They're always working. All right. The weights are waiting on you. All right. Why they're called weights? Because they're waiting on you to get in the gym.
The weights are waiting, all right?
We got a few squats to get before we end the night, guys, so we're going to hit these squats next. That's it, ain't no? That's it, ain't it though? Hold on, guys. I'm gonna move some weights around. I'm gonna grab my laptop. We'll keep it moving. We'll keep it moving, guys. I don't want my bench in the way because I hadn't de-racked yet in case someone's coming in. So I wanted to make sure they had the space that they require if they need it. I don't know if they're benching. I don't even know who it is, but. JL's just a troll, guys. Just a troll. He's not even a good troll, man. He's not even a good troll. JL, you're gonna have to work on the trolling thing, man. It ain't working. It ain't working for you. You need to come up with a new gig. New gig. It just ain't that good. I wouldn't be the one for advice on that, twins. I'm gonna be honest. Sorry to hear that. The gym would be my go-to though. If I was ever stressing about something, I would utilize the gym, utilize the weights. You know, funnel that into something productive. Gym's great for your mental health. So, but I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. That's not my thing. I can help you with the fitness side of things though. Appreciate you, Martin. How you doing, Martin? Doing good tonight? Yeah, talking to family about it's probably the best route. Someone else that knows them, you know. Yeah, I don't even gotta say nothing to them, right, twins? I ain't even gonna say nothing to him. Chat's got me. Chat's got me. Appreciate y'all.
I'm doing well, Martin. Why would I ever want to do that, JL? I like South Carolina. It's a very nice state. And if I came to California, it wouldn't be to see you. It'd be to bench press with Mark. So, because he can't deny it. He can't deny it at that point. There's no saving himself if I show up to bench press. All right. %, 15% or more. 100%. The Cheeto dust. You gotta come up out the basement first, JL. You gotta come up out the basement first and wipe the Cheeto dust off. All right. Oh yeah. 100%, Martin. We always get a good giggle out of it, right? Always get a good giggle out of it. I don't know yet, Ren. We're not going to go super heavy. We don't have a spotter at this gym ever. So we don't go super heavy here. Y'all have made JL very angry. If you guys could see the messages that are getting blocked from JL, he's very angry with you guys. JL, I'm not going to show your messages because they're rude, right? They're rude. I can see them. You're allowed to be rude to me. It's just how YouTube works. But not usually, Ren. I stick to a standard low bar squat typically. I'm gonna put JL. I'm gonna go ahead and just remove him from the chat, guys. Watch this. You guys ready? All right, JL, you're gonna go on an extended gulag vacation. 24 whole hours, JL. So I want you to hear me out before you scroll, JL, because I know you're still here, probably seething right now. You're in the timeout corner, okay, for the next 24 hours. When you come back, I want you to be a better person. We'll be more than happy to have you back, all right? But when you get back, try and be nicer to the chat. We're not going to do that here. Remember, this is my stream, not yours. I do what I want here. Like, put you in the gulag for 24 hours. Gulag. Who's got bets on whether or not he makes a new account? Who's got bets on whether or not he makes a new account? How long do you think till the new JL account pops up? Become a stronger troll. Three sets of trolling till failure. Well, he made it to failure almost immediately. Guys. I put up with it. I don't mind when people come in the stream and try and talk crap to me, right? I'll respond. I'll engage with it. It's when he attacks the stream chat, right? It's when he attacks the stream chat that we have to start to moderate him out. So. 100%, Martin, 100%.
You know what JL never told us? How much he benches, all right? I've never seen him respond to it. And what really matters here is how much you bench. Quick double, maybe a triple. Yep. No, I don't have a lot of opinions on other like fitness influencers and stuff, twins. I don't get a lot of time to sit down and absorb content, to be honest. Is that how he said it, Kaja? Is that how he worded it? That was all the way down. That was all the way down. That would have been enough depth to break. That was breaking 90. You don't have to have your butt touch the floor. I don't know how often you end up in a position like this. I don't very often. Also, this is just as effective as this. And this is the same amount of effective as this, and this, and this. Now, maybe if you're going to here, I could see you getting upset, but that's also still a very, very much a okay squat position, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. This could be someone that maybe does something that requires them to jump. You know, they could be a distance jumper. They could be a runner. A lot of runners do high squats, like a high position squat where they only squat a portion of the depth. It could be good for someone that's trying to improve other lifts, or maybe just trying to improve their lockout. All of those lifting positions have an important function. So I'm okay, Frank. I appreciate it though. I'm aware. I can see myself in the camera. So yeah, it's all about hip joint. It is not something that's easy to see from the front. You have to see it from the side to know whether or not you're breaking that. So, but in training, parallel is fine. 90 degrees is perfectly fine in training. So I will tell you right now, most powerlifters in training for the majority of their lifts that I've ever met, and I've met a lot of powerlifters, are doing parallel or just barely breaking 90. They're not doing all the way to the ground. They're not doing maximum depth for every set. Why? Because it wears on you very quickly. So, wears on you very quickly. I go very low. Me personally, I drop pretty low in competition just to ensure that I'm hitting depth. I'm very, very cautious, so I drop super low in competition. And that's why, like tonight, you'll see we're not going to go as heavy, but we're going to be doing lower squats towards the end. But a lot of guys also like to use that that quicker drop and that lower drop to help them kind of shoot out of the bottom, shoot out of the hole in competition. So I'm going to tell you though, that is not always ideal squat depth. That is just like, that has been something that has been touted as the ideal squat depth over the last couple of decades. But we know this to be true, that you don't have to squat ass to grass every time to get results. And the results aren't even that significantly better. And it is significantly more wear on your joints to go that low. We know these to be facts. So these aren't really debated topics anymore. You have people that are just old school and are like, you have to go ass to grass every single set, straight to failure, 500 reps. You know, make small weights feel heavy. You know, make lightweight feel heavy. And it's just like, no, you can lift heavy, shorter sets, less reps, gain muscle that way, gain mass, strength, size, and you can conserve and preserve your joints by not going to grass every single set of every single squat session. Just depends on what your goal is, Kaja. It just depends on what your goal is. If your goal is bodybuilding, more reps are great, sure. It can be very beneficial, but there is times when bodybuilders do shorter reps, shorter sets, you know, so. So, but here's my proof in pudding, right? You know, you always say proof is in the pudding, right? How many people do you see that squat like that consistently that don't complain about injuries in their 40s? I used to could squat, I used to could bench, I used to could deadlift, right? It's always used to could do, right? They'll be 35, 37, 40 years old, even some of them in their late 20s, mid 20s, right? They're like, yeah, high school, in my early 20s, I was benching 500 pounds, but I blew my shoulder out, or I was squatting 700 pounds, but now my hips don't work. And they're at an age where you wouldn't expect those kind of degradations normally. And it's all these people that followed this advice and they got heavy, but they didn't do it the right way, and they ended up getting hurt, or over time developing injuries, or things that are like chronic pains, chronic issues. So you want to lift heavy, but if you do it the right way, you can lift heavy for a long time. You just gotta focus. Yeah, we lift all the time. We lift all the time. All right, quick double, still getting warmed up, guys. So add some more weight, do another single, maybe a double. So add some more weight. It's close, Ren. It's close. But I was a bench specialist for 2 years before I started squatting competitively, or even trying to squat competitively at all. So I maintained like a 225 squat while I was a bench specialist, just because you should be able to squat to some extent, regardless. But I was a bench specialist for 2 years in competition. I actually only did bench in competition for 2 years. We haven't made any attempts at it, Bryce, because we're coming up on competition. After the 16th, we'll be going back to PRs. We changed it up, twins. We didn't do chicken and rice tonight. We did mac and cheese with lean ground chicken in it, homemade organic mac and cheese. But I'm good. I'm good, Dubby. Ain't no need for no rest right now. Why would I need to rest, Dubby? Why would we do that, Keith? We've done weighted pull-ups on stream before, but why are we doing weighted pull-ups? We're going to do some push-ups after this, but... we already did rows. We did curls tonight, Keith. So we've already done a good bit of movement for those muscle groups. I'm not a big fan of weighted pull-ups. They're great, sure, but I preference your big lifts. It's a powerlifting stream, Keith. So we bench 6 days a week. We squat 6 days a week. We deadlift 3 times a week, and we curl, shoulder press, row, and tricep extensions 6 times a week heavy. We do a full body 6 days a week. But calisthenics we throw in like periodically just for the giggles. They're gain stealers. I haven't run into that problem, twins. I'm married and all my gains are still here and they're still progressing. So appreciate it, Keith. Appreciate it. We were working with some weighted pull-ups the other night. I think what we have on there was it 2 plates, 2 plates weighted pull-up. We got like almost a full. We're good up to like just about 2 plates on weighted pull-ups. Just about 2 plates on weighted pull-ups. And I don't train weighted pull-ups ever. We can do them, but I don't train them. Weighted dips, we train weighted dips. And we used to train them very regularly to help our bench press. Now, mind you, I'm a bench specialist, so pushing is my specialty, right? Weighted dips, I'm good for 5 plates.
No, I don't burn out, Keith. I do powerlifting professionally. I've been doing this for a while. I'm conditioned very well. But I do heavy bench 6 days a week. See you 15% or more.
All right, let's hit this for a single or a double. We'll decide once we're at the bottom. And then we'll do a drop set for a quick set of 7. Probably less depth-wise, but we'll definitely hit a drop set. We're not going up to 315 this week, other than, I think, Saturday. No, maybe tomorrow. We'll have a spotter tomorrow, so we'll probably go 325, 330 tomorrow, potentially. We'll see how it goes. But we're keeping it light. We're working with a little bit more rep range, so we're going to do a drop set after these last single doubles. But it's just purely because we don't have a spotter, and I want to save the energy for when we do have a spotter, which is tomorrow. No cardio on this stream. There'll be no cardio here. We don't do cardio. I get my cardio in the form of caffeine. All right. Yep.
How do you mean, Ren? Having a spotter on squat is super strong thing to have. Squat is one of those movements you want to have a spotter when you go heavy. If you're squatting properly, if you're spotting properly on a squat, you can help a lot. A lot of people don't spot squat properly because it's not comfortable. But if you're spotting a squat, okay, guys, I'm going to give you guys some cheat codes here, right? If you're spotting a squat appropriately as a spotter, right? If you have 2 spotters, one on each side of the bar is sufficient typically if you're paying attention. But if you're by yourself spotting someone, your arms, forearms and elbows should be underneath their armpit, across their side here, right? Right up under their armpit. And you should be hooking, right? Like this. So you should have your hands in front of their shoulders here, not touching, but in front of their shoulders. Small step back, you squat with them, not taking the weight away. And if they start to fail or lean forward, you hook the shoulder, pull back towards your body, and you are now a part of that squat, right? So you're here. If they start to fail, can't go up, or they start to lean, you grab, pull forward, pull towards you ever so slightly, and you are now part of that squat position, right? Now you have 2 squatters with the same weight that you had 1 squatter. That is how you should squat or spot a squat if you're a single spotter, right? Only spot someone squatting if you feel comfortable doing so, because you can be a detriment if you do it wrong. You can be a bad thing if you're doing it wrong. If you're not comfortable doing it, don't do it. Tell them you're not comfortable, right? With bench, it's just getting the weight off of them typically. You should still be comfortable, but it's not as you can't cause as much issue bench as if you spot a squat incorrectly. Because if you bump into them, if you can't handle the weight, if you pull back too far on their shoulders, now both of you are getting injured. So you have to be very comfortable. And you guys see where I have my bars here, right? You're like, Chris, why do you have the safeties at the point that they are, even though it's a comfortable weight for you guys, Chris? Because at this height, let's say I get down here, at this height, right, I can realistically fall backwards and the bar will not follow down my spine, right? So I can fall backwards with that weight and it won't be on my spine. I'm immediately pretty much out of the danger zone right here, right? Now, here's the other thing. If I squat down and I hit here and I lean forward, when I lean forward, if my neck goes forward, I'm now parallel with this, right? So when my neck, if it goes forward and that bar rolls, I'm going to be parallel with this bar. That means I'm not going to roll it down over my neck. It's going to stop on these bars before hopefully it causes any damage
to the back of my neck, my spine, my skull. That is one of the worst ways you can lose a squat, is over the top of your head. So you want this in a position where if you go backwards, it's immediately hitting the bar. And if you go forward, you're not going below 90 before it's being supported by the bar, right? And for a lot of people, if you're new to squatting and you're not super comfortable with the weight, you maybe want to go one higher. You're like, but Chris, I won't get the depth. Yeah, but is the depth worth it if your head's not attached? If at the end of the day, your head's still attached and you didn't quite get the extra 3/4 inch of depth, I feel like that's a win. And if you're not actively competing, no one needs to be judging your depth anyways, unless they're your coach. Or unless you invited them to judge your depth. So, or unless you're competing, right? If you're competing, you're gonna have judges judging your depth. So, you don't have to go to the floor with it if you're new to squatting. Don't feel pressured to do that, because that's where a lot of people get injured, is trying to do too much. So,
Too quickly.
and it's peer pressure, guys. It is. It's peer pressure. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people get pressured into squatting weights that are either uncomfortable or squatting depths that are uncomfortable because someone told them they should. Right? If you're not actively powerlifting and you just want regular gains, man, and you're not comfortable going over a certain weight on squat, then don't. Right? And you're in there, you're squatting, you're doing your thing. When you get comfortable, go up. Right? And if you squat to here, and you're like, man, that's where I'm comfortable, is right here squatting. Guess what? That's a great squat position. If you're squatting to here and that's where you're comfortable, that's a great squat position. This is also a great one. This is a great one. Wherever you're comfortable squatting, you will get gains, you will get growth. Is it the best squat position? Maybe not. But will you see results? Yes. There is ways you can make it very much like the most efficient possible way to get to strength and physique goals. Yes. But if most people that are taking advice on the squat actively online are not advanced lifters, and they get peer pressured into doing advanced lifter type stuff, and guess what? They get hurt. That's why you see so many people get hurt on squat. Constantly, we're seeing squat fails. Out of all the big lifts, you see more squat failures resulting in injury than deadlifts, than shoulder press, than bench press, than curls. It's almost always squat injuries, because people are so hard on others when it comes to squats, okay? It doesn't make any sense to pressure someone into that, because it's not your gains. Why do you care? So that's my TED talk, right? That's my rant for the night.
Hundred percent, Kaja. You're not wrong. I'm not a big fan of clean jerks. It's not optimal. Everybody, man. If I could tell you how many times I have seen in a video's comments, and I'm talking about people commenting. Yeah, I go to Myrtle Beach pretty often. I live in South Carolina. I was in Myrtle Beach recently. What was I going to say? I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. So if I could tell you how many times I've seen someone talk about what's most optimal, right? What's most optimal on videos of people that are significantly stronger or significantly more experienced than them.
I'm talking about people critiquing, like people benching 500, 600, 700 pounds, and they're critiquing these people's bench press. It's like they didn't accidentally bench 600 pounds, okay? They didn't accidentally bench 600 pounds. They know what they're doing. Leave them be. Like, if you're benching, and there's nothing wrong with benching less than that, right? But if you're benching 250, even for reps, or if you're benching 180 or 300, or even if you're benching 350, right? And you see a guy benching 600 pounds, stop as you're giving that advice and think, do I really believe that that person needs my advice right now? They're benching 6 times or double or 3 times what I'm benching. Do I think I have that there, even if I have good advice, do I think that it's going to be received, right? They probably have a coach. And if they don't have a coach, they probably know what they're doing. So that's not saying that someone that lifts less can't have good coaching and can't have good advice. But these people will come to you if they want your advice. I promise. I promise. I've had people come in here and try and sell me their coaching programs, right? And it's not that I don't believe that they could possibly have a good coaching program. I'm just not looking for that, right? And if someone wants to sell me a coaching program, they're going to have proof that they have the experience and the strength and everything else significantly more than what I'm at currently to sell me said coaching program. And I'm honestly still not going to purchase it, to be fair, but you would at least need to be able to have provable, real results before you come in here and toss a coaching program at me. And I don't plan on going and trying to sell Eddie Hall a coaching program, right? Would I coach Eddie Hall if Eddie Hall wanted a coach and was willing to take me on as his coach? And do I think I could help him in some form or fashion? 100%. 100%. I don't know if I could improve Eddie Hall's deadlift, right? But I know how to deadlift, right? I could be a good coach. But I'm not going to go to Eddie Hall and tell him he needs me as a coach, right? Because I'm not deadlifting 500 kilo. Obviously, Eddie Hall knows what he's doing. And whoever is helping Eddie Hall with his lifts, obviously is doing well, right? So it is one of those things that, like, you have to know when someone is able. Long story short, that was a rant. Long story short, everybody's a coach nowadays. Don't go and critique other people's lifts if you're not doing what they're doing, or if you're not a professional coach, or if it's not obviously something that's wrong, you know? So would I ask Eddie Hall if he needs a spot? 100% I would spot Eddie Hall. 100% I would spot Eddie Hall. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Spotting Eddie on the bench would be potentially a PR deadlift day for me. So yeah, it's a bit far for me. It's a bit far for me, Jonathan. I can't travel quite that far. I do some traveling for training, but I don't travel quite that far to train. The farthest I go out to train anybody is about 45 minutes. And Myrtle Beach is a bit longer than that. What math is not mathing, Bryce? What, spotting Eddie Hall on the bench? So I would spot Eddie Hall on the bench, but honestly, it's one of those things, guys, that if you're asking someone to spot you, and let's say Julius Maddox needs a spot, right? And he's going for 750, right? So mind you, I think Eddie Hall's probably benching 600 pounds, right? I would imagine he's able to close in on 600 pounds at his peak. So that would technically be PR. So let's say Julius Maddox needed a spot at 750 pound bench or an 800 pound bench, maybe going for a PR. There's no one benching that other than him. So anybody spotting him, this is going to be an uncomfortable weight to spot. At that point, you're going to want multiple spotters. So I would probably recommend at that point, if you're spotting something like that, grab a couple extra guys, right? Do I think I could get 800 pounds off of someone's chest on a bench if I needed to, right? If I needed to, do I think I could help someone dump 800 pounds? Will they're completely passed out on a bench? I 100% could get 800 pounds off of somebody. There's leverages there that you can utilize to move weight off of someone on the bench if you're doing it properly. Do I want to do that? No. But I would if I had to. Exactly, lift one side and roll it off, right? So do I want to have to do that? I don't want to I don't want to be in charge of lifting 800 pounds off of Julius. But if I had to, I feel like I could very well capably do so. So I'd be comfortable spotting almost, I would say anybody on the bench. Squat is one of those things that is less comfortable for me at that weight, because if you're spotting someone on a squat, you should realistically believe that you could front squat it, right? If you're by yourself. Because if they dump a lot of weight on a squat, you better be ready to eat that weight. I would do it. I would definitely spot a heavy squat for somebody if they needed it, but it's one of the less comfortable squats, or less comfortable spots for somebody. Because if someone dumps even 225 on you, right? Let's say they just roll 225 off their back, you're catching that on your forearms. That's not going to feel good, guys. It's not going to feel good. There's no one benching 1,000 pounds unless it's equipped lifting, and then you want multiple spotters. I haven't had to do that, twins. The only times I've ever had a bench press failed that I didn't have a spotter, it was an incline press, and I rolled it off. I rolled it down to my lap and stood up with it. So, but that was a long time ago. I'm very good at picking where I should be every day now. I can read my body and be like, this is a weight I can hit right now. There are times when I go over that. Obviously, when you're doing PRs, you're going to go over that comfort level a lot of the time. But on those days, you have a spotter, right? The heaviest I've ever had to lift, I have spotted people that are doing 500 pound lifts, 500 pound plus lifts. I don't stretch, Coco. Unless I'm like getting out of bed in the morning. I don't stretch before my workouts or after my workouts. Let's hit those push-ups, guys. Let's hit those push-ups. It's that time of night. We've got a few. We said we do a few sets of push-ups tonight, so we're going to do a few sets of push-ups. I'm going to say something, Ren. I don't watch Dragon Ball Z. I've never seen a full episode of Dragon Ball Z ever. Depending on the lift, Max, that's pretty strong. It's a pretty strong lift depending on what it is. I mean, any lift at 867 is strong. Like, there's no lift that's not heavy at 867, right? I definitely could out bench press Goku. I'm 100% convinced. He should be on my coaching program. I still haven't learned a prison burpee. All right. You'll never go Super Saiyan. All right, we have 30 likes on the stream, guys. I'm going to give y'all 10 seconds to add likes to it, and then we're going to hit the push-ups for however many likes for tonight. So, I have watched Naruto, yes.
I'm gonna tell you guys, you guys aren't gonna like it, but Naruto's a better anime than Dragon Ball Z. All right, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 31 push-ups. 31 push-ups. All right, let's get it, guys. 32 push-ups. We'll let it through. We'll let it through. 32 push-ups. That's our likes for the night. Let's hit it. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33. Oh! Wee! 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 Felt good. Felt good. 800 people show. What's up, Kier? All right, I did 33. I threw in a couple extra. So. All right, that's the night, guys. That is the night. We are done and done. It is time for me to head on home and get some sleep. Always gaining, always gaining. It's time for me to head on home, get some sleep, get some rest. So I weigh 177, Jordan. I weigh 177. 5'11", my bench is 365. So, but as always, I appreciate you guys being here. Throw my milk bottle away. Appreciate y'all being here. I'll be back on tomorrow. Probably earlier tomorrow is the plan. So we'll see. Always gaining, always gaining. I have a job, Manuel. It's crazy. It's crazy. I have a job. I'm not weighing in right now, Jordan. I gotta go. I compete actively, Jordan. My weights are all officiated. So, all officiated. So, but we'll be back on tomorrow, guys. We'll be back on tomorrow. And probably, I would say around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock is the plan. But I'll announce in the Discord. So, all right. Appreciate y'all. See y'all later. We just finished the milk. A little bit earlier. All right. See y'all later.